Hello there, and welcome to another episode of Cutting Through the Bullshit. I am your host, Dr. Stephanie Snyder, and I am High Performance Mentor. Through my unique blend of strategy, mindset, and intuition, I help men and women to cut through the BS in order to create the life and business they desire. So, previous episode, we talked a little bit about trusting yourself, right? Now, this probably should have gone first, but it's fine. I've talked about this before, so you'll be okay. So how do you begin to trust yourself, right? Well, let's first start off with the fact that you know every single lie that you've ever told. You're the only one. You know, the whole, I'll start working out on Monday, and Monday comes and you don't start a new workout plan, right? Or I'll start to eat healthy after the holidays. And then the holidays come and the new year goes and it's March and you still haven't started eating healthy, okay? So it can be hard to trust yourself when you're the one who tells yourself all these other lies, right? Now, they aren't malicious intended, right? But at the same time, that chips away at your own trust with yourself, because there's a part of you where you're like, yeah, I'm going to do that thing. And then there's another part of you that's like, how many times have you said this before? Right? How many times have you said that you're going to send birthday cards before, right? Like, that is me. Every year I say I'm going to be really good at sending birthday cards to my nieces and nephews, and every year I fall flat on my face because there's a birthday right out of the gate. And I jack it up every single year, right? I know that about myself. So I should just get the kids' Venmos and just do it that way and call it a day, right? That's probably easier at this point. So how do you begin to build trust with yourself? Well, you stop telling yourself lies. You stop committing to stuff that you're actually not going to follow through with. You begin to have conversations with yourself that are way nicer than maybe they have been in the past. Okay, Steph, cool, right? But like, how do I do it? What does that look like? That looks like starting really, really freaking small. Really small. Really small. Like, as teeny tiny as you could possibly start, and build the trust that way. Because the truth is, you're not going to trust yourself to make these big, massive decisions about like who you're going to marry, where you're going to live, what kind of job you have, because we deem those as big, massive decisions. The truth is, they're just a decision. But what we see is this decision could have a ripple effect on all the other areas of my life because it's this kind of a decision. Every choice you make has a ripple effect on every other area of your life. No decision is really bigger than the other. We weigh them differently. They're all decisions. All decisions, right? Like, for instance, the day I met my husband, I decided to go to the beach that day. Had I not decided to go to the beach that day, I have no idea where my life would be right now. No clue. I mean, I can think of where it could be, but I have no idea. Simply because I decided to go to that location, at that beach, at that time, on that specific day. To me, it was just going to the beach, right? Like, same thing with your spouse, with your partner, with your friends, with whatever, right? Like, it's a small decision that then had a greater impact, but it all started with a small, little, tiny decision. Honestly, the last 20 years of my life have been very different because I made the decision to go to the beach that day. Right? Like, we can take it back even farther if you really want, but we won't. So I say all of that because how do you begin to trust yourself? You've got to start with the teeny tiny little things so that you could trust yourself with the whole, okay, here's who I want to marry. And then if you seek counsel on it, know that it's still their biased counsel, regardless of how unbiased people try to be. It's still through their eyes, their perspective, their everything else. So you still have to take it with a grain of salt, right? Some people's advice I take with a grain of salt and a shot of tequila, but that's a story for another day. Right. So, nevertheless, here we go. Beginning to trust yourself, you start teeny, tiny, right? So for those of you who have been with me all year, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. You know that I started doing 1 push-up a day the first week of January. And I did 1 push-up every day for the first week. And then the second week, I did 2 push-ups every day for the second week. 3 weeks, 4 weeks, on and on and on and on and on. For complete weeks, right? So January 1st was on like a Wednesday or something. So I didn't start until, I guess, January 6th, whatever it was. And we are now on week 45 of the year. And I know that because I did 45 push-ups this morning. I am strengthening my own trust with myself because I said, you know what? I'm going to try this fun little experiment to see if I can do push-ups. Because I would love, for whatever reason, I thought, you know what? I want to be able to do 50 push-ups. I don't know why. I have no clue why I wanted to do 50 push-ups. No idea. I can do 45 push-ups now. On my toes. Tricep push-ups. In less than a minute. I do them very quick because if I don't do them quickly, I will talk myself out of it and I will get tired after 20. But even the fact that I can do 20 push-ups, I couldn't do 20 push-ups the first week of January. When I hit week 10, I was like, oh shoot, I struggled to do 10 push-ups. How the hell am I going to get to 50 push-ups if I'm struggling at 10? You build that muscle over time. My tricep muscles have been built over time. Your trusting yourself is a muscle that gets built over time. Trusting your intuition is a muscle that gets built over time. It's not that some people don't have it and others have it. We all have an intuition. We all have this internal guidance system. Sometimes it's louder for some people than it is for others, but it's simply because we've exercised it. My intuition can be really, really loud. It can also be really, really quiet. And sometimes it's a phrase and sometimes it's a feeling. But I've learned to decipher decipher my intuition speaking to me because I've spent time building that muscle. Prime example. So I was headed to a networking event. I guess it was back in September, maybe. Weather was still pretty nice. Might have been in August or September. Maybe even sooner than that. I don't remember. Whatever. It was when the weather was warm. I was headed to a networking event. And I had done an errand or something, so I was headed to the event on a different route than I would have gone if I was at home. And I guess I dropped my kid off at soccer. I think that's what it was, right? And heading to this networking event on a different road. And I got this feeling associated with the phrase drive slowly. And I was like, okay, I'll take my time, right? No worries. And I thought it was drive slowly because there was a police officer up there, right? Like that was my, okay, cool. Like I'll just drive slowly. That's fine. And so I drove slowly. And when I was about 1.5 miles from my destination, I have never hit my brakes so hard in my entire life. I'm driving down a 4-lane road, 2 going one way, 2 going my way, right? There's no median at all. And the speed limit is 25. I was probably going 20 because I was like, you know what? I'm just going to drive slow. To the left of me, in the same direction lane, right? So I was in the far right lane, same direction lane, is a tow truck carrying a pickup truck with one of those caps on the back of it. I didn't really pay much attention to the tow truck. Like it was going past me. Cool, fine, right? All of a sudden, the cover, the cap to the pickup truck that is on the back of this tow truck comes flying off of the truck. It does a full 360 and smack lands in front of my car in the lane. I was going like 20 miles an hour. I have still never hit my brakes so hard in my entire life. I was terrified. Terrified. I was shaking. It was right in front of this bus stop, so there's these people pulling out their phones, like videoing the whole thing. And I'm shaking uncontrollably in the driver's seat. Because it happens so quickly, and it was just the adrenaline rushing through my body. So the tow truck pulls over in front of me, in front of the cap, stops, gets out, starts to put the cap on the back of his car. I was a little annoyed that at no point did anyone ask if I was okay. Nevertheless, I composed myself enough to pull myself into the parking lot that's right next to it. I cry uncontrollably for a few moments, pull myself together, and then head to my networking event. I was so grateful for that little intuitive hit. So grateful, because that could have gone very, very differently. That thing could have hit the side of my car. It could have hit the hood of my car. I could have hit it at such an angle that it could have bounced up, smashed my windshield, and a whole bunch of other things could have happened. There are a million other scenarios in which that could have gone really, 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 really bad. But I was grateful for the intuitive hit, and I said, you know what? I'm going to just go slow. It feels like this is a legitimate thing. I'm just going to go slow. And I have countless other examples where there's been this little nudge, maybe not necessarily associated with words. Often I do get like a phrase to go with it, or, you know, something relating to an event. Another example, I was headed down a road and coming up on a traffic light, and I got an intuitive nudge, be careful of the cyclist. And I was like, I don't even see a cyclist up here at all. But the car in front of me almost hit somebody who was going across the crosswalk on a bicycle. Almost smoked that person. Right? Like, they just come up, and they come up at all random kinds of times. And so how do you begin to trust it is, one, you actually have to spend time with yourself. Because a lot of the time we don't hear it because we're so distracted, is the easiest way to say this. We are so distracted by our phones, by our email, by our, everything else around us. There are a million distractions that are readily available for us. We can be distracted the second that we want to. And it's the distractions that actually keep us from hearing our intuition, because we're so in tune to the distraction that we don't feel, hear, see whatever the intuitive hit is. And so spending time with yourself is a great place to start. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, however long you can handle being by yourself. Spend some time with yourself. Journal. Start to quiet the internal dialogue long enough, right? One thing that I really I love to start helping people do this, because it's a good visual, is if you have a pendulum, and those of you on YouTube, you can see that I have this little pendulum here. Okay. There's a way in which you can begin to make sense of the feeling. You don't necessarily need a pendulum, but there are these little micro muscles in your fingers that will actually help you with this. But an easy way, and I've shared this time and time again, an easy way to get started with this is to ask yourself simple yes or no questions. My name is Bethany. No, it's not. My intuition's like, that's absolutely not our name. It sounds close, but it's not, right? Um, and you can begin to ask yourself those yes or no questions. It doesn't have to be this complicated thing, right? Like, what do you want to wear today? Like, and ask it specifics so that you can start to get used to what that yes or no feels like. What do you want to eat today? What would you like to drink today? Right? Like, you can say, do I want water? Do I want soda? Chances are you probably really want water because that's what our body needs, right? Like, maybe you're distracted by the soda. Who knows? Okay. Nevertheless, you can start small. And if you want to trust your intuition for those bigger, quote unquote, decisions, you've got to start with this small stuff. You've got to start telling your self things that you're going to actually do. Have a little trust exercise with yourself. So if you say, hey, you know what? I really want to start saving money. I don't want to be such a compulsive buyer. Okay. So give yourself 24 hours before you buy something. If you see something and you want it, sit on it for 24 hours. Cool. Right? Like, my kids know this. If we go out shopping, and there's something that I see that I'm like, ooh, I really, really, like, I really want that. Because I definitely don't need it, right? I'll be like, ooh, I really want that. I will have, if it's the only one, I'll have them hold it at the register. And I've done this with anything from like $40 pairs of shorts to like, I don't know, something that was a couple $100, whatever it was, right? And my thought is, if I'm still thinking about this at the end of the day, when the store closes or, whatever, if I'm still thinking about this thing tomorrow morning, I'll come back and get it. And if not, I really didn't want it. It was an impulse buy. But I can trust myself to do that, even with online purchases. I can say, you know what? Like last night, I caught myself. I was scrolling through my like little wish list, and I had a whole bunch of things in my shopping cart, and I was real ready to hit buy. And I said, Steph, what is it that you really want? Well, I wanted those shoes in that moment. But this morning, I'm real grateful I didn't spend the money on the shoes, because I didn't really need them. It was going to be an impulse buy. And I can trust myself to go, you know what? And more often than not, I find myself shopping when I actually want love. Yes, it's a good thing to know, right? So like, I find myself doing the online shopping or like throwing random shit into my Amazon cart. And when I notice it and I catch myself and I go, okay, wait, why are we purchasing this? It's like, oh, well, because I want to feel loved. Okay, no, let's put that back. We don't actually need that today. Let's go do something else that makes us feel loved, right? Like play a game with my kids. I got this new board game. I guess it's a board game. I don't know if it's called a board game. I got this new game with my kids that's really fun. It's like a quick thinking, categorizing thing. And that's really what I wanted, was to feel loved. And so I played a game with my kids instead of spending a bunch of money on an Amazon cart. Because none of that stuff I actually needed. It was just going to make me feel better in the moment when Amazon showed up. And I was like, ooh, it feels like Christmas, right? Like, no. All right. So I hope that you are having an amazing day. If you are interested in working with me, finding out a little bit more about the work that I do with my clients, please reach out to me. You can send me an email, you can comment below on the video, or you can tag me on Instagram, whatever it is. If you are like, hey, Steph, you know what, that really resonates with me. I would love to get your insight on this, or I'd love some support in it. I do have single activation sessions. I do have longer private programs as well, where I will work with you individually for a longer period of time. I love the work. It's amazing. It's questioning. It's learning more about yourself so that you can live a life that you know you're capable of. So I'm sending you so much love. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. And as always, be you, because the world needs more of you. Bye.